Turkana has been known for negative publicity, hunger, famine, insecurity. It's been described as a hardship area. But did you know that this area has its own beauty? It has a variety of tourist attractions you wouldn't imagine can be found in this place. And this is the topic of today's episode, Turkana's beauty.
We have kept giving a very wrong picture about Turkana.
We have wellness, and then we have nature and wildlife.
Turkana is known as the cradle of mankind. We have the oldest caves, thousands of years old caves.
Ukiwa sasa kama hiyo milima ya Central Highline hiyo, vitu kama hizo inafutia.
Turkana is changing and it is a land of opportunities.
Changamoto ya utalii hapa ni transport. Mahoteli pia ni chache sana.
Turkana is like that cornerstone.
Yes, I've been on a mission here to understand those attractions, to get a feel of it, and have a lot to share with you. But first, let us get some facts about the county.
Situated in northern Kenya, about 700 kilometers from Nairobi, Turkana is the second largest county in Kenya after Marsabit. The county covers 13% of Kenya's surface. It is the only county in Kenya which borders three countries, that is South Sudan to the north, Uganda to the west, and Ethiopia to the northeast. The county constitutes 6 constituencies: Turkana North, Turkana East, Turkana West, Turkana South, Turkana Central, and Loima. According to the 2009 national census, Turkana County has about 900,000 people. The county's economy is largely supported by pastoralism. And it is in Turkana that large oil deposits are currently being explored. It is projected that the extraction will grow to an industrial scale in the years to come. Moreover, Turkana boasts of having plenty of wind, sun, flowing water, and underground steam for geothermal power, which could make it literally a powerhouse of sustainable energies. Lake Turkana, with a length of over 250 kilometers, is one of the county's key tourist attractions. Apart from Lake Turkana, there are many other untapped tourist attractions in the county, and that leads us into the main show, Turkana's beauty.
All right, and I'm just thinking, where do we begin this adventure? And yes, let's begin from the lake, our experience on Lake Turkana, a 60-kilometer drive from Lodwar town. This is the main road to Lake Turkana, all Maram, but some sections are sandy. And this is part of our adventure as we begin our mission to showcase Turkana's beauty. Not bad, as the roads are passable, with many preferring to use four-wheel drive vehicles. And here, what some refer to as virgin beaches of Lake Turkana. The Turkana refer to the lake as Anamkalakol, meaning the sea of many fish. Remember, we are all eager to visit the much talked about Central Island, but the timing has to be right, according to our coxswain, Isaac Iro Isulu, as the lake can be dangerously rough.
Msimu huu bahari haikubaliki. Lakini sasa kupepo kama hii, hakuna bahari ndio imetulia imekaa tu disaini.
Meanwhile, those swimming have nothing to worry about. As we wait, we get a moment to explore yet another attraction, Elia Springs. These unique springs, found near the lake, produce lush vegetation along its section of the otherwise barren lake shore. Finally, we are told the lake is less rough and we can now begin our boat ride. And off to the Central Island via this 8-seater motorboat. It will take us about 40 minutes to reach the island. Nice to be on the world's largest permanent desert lake, which is also the world's largest alkaline lake. To hire this boat, you have to part with 18,000 Kenya shillings per trip. If you are a group of 6, it means you can share and pay 3,000 shillings each. There you are. The island is now clearly visible. The Central Island is a protected area managed by Kenya Wildlife Services. It is made up of 3 active volcanoes. Our tour guide, Peter Maraka, is all set to take us around. Remember, here there are 3 lakes in one: the Crocodile Lake, the Tilapia Lake, and the Flamingo Lake. Their names speak for themselves.
Kwa Central Island.
Sasa hii yote ndio
Central Island. Na sasa hapa tukifika lazima tuende pa kwa Crocodile Lake.
How long to reach?
Ni 1 hour.
1 hour.
Kutembea popote. So tunapanda huko yote, kuna nice view. Huko ndio empty crater huko.
Ile ni
Empty crater. Yeah.
Kitambo ilikuwa na maji.
Hapana. Hii inakuanga hivyo tu. Sasa hapa ndio kuna mandege zinatega mayai. Alafu kuna Crocodile Lake sasa ndio tunaelekea. Unaona sasa mandege siko juu ya mamiti. Sasa wametega mayai hapo. Sasa hapa tunaelekea Crocodile Lake.
Tuko karibu kufika sasa.
Karibu sasa. Toka hapa sasa tunaingilia hivyo, tuangalie Crocodile Lake. Tutaweza pata ama wataweza kuwa kwa maji. Hii ni mgia ya Crocodile.
Crocodile imepita hapa.
Imepita hapa.
So are we safe?
Tuko safe.
Yeah.
Haina shida. Sasa ndio tumefika Crocodile Lake.
Wow, this is the great.
Ona ndio hii kichwa yake.
Oh, pale ile. Okay.
Naona ndio hiyo. Kubwa sana.
Okay. Ni nyingi hapa.
Ziko mingi sana.
Crocodile Lake ni mingi.
Hapa inaitwa Crocodile Lake juu cause hapa kuna samaki tilapia. Na hapa ndio wanatega mayai hapo kwa hii bush.
Yes.
Alafu ziko mingi sana haisabiki. Na hapa pia kuna mandege pale. Na mandege wanatega mayai pale hivyo. So wakitega mayai hapo, wanaenda wanatafuta chakula au Ferguson Gulf huko kwa hiyo Gulf, jioni wanarudi. That's why unaona movement yao, wanakuja na kurudi. Wanakuja wanakirudi.
Unique indeed, but there are many challenges that hinder tourism in this area.
Changamoto ya utalii hapa ni transport. Ya kwanza hakuna. Alafu ya pili, mahoteli pia ni chache sana. Hatuna mahoteli mengi. Alafu wageni naye pia wanaogopa kwa sababu vile ziko chache, bei yao pia iko juu sana. Sasa tunaelekea Tilapia Lake.
Tilapia Lake.
Tilapia Lake
inajulikana kwa tilapia.
Kunjo Tilapia Lake tukipanda milima juu.
Some hiking here and good exercise for us. And being on the top of this hill gives us a vantage point to get even better aerial shots. After 3 hours on the Central Island, we call it a day. Our journey back is a ride in the direction of the sunset that eventually gives us this picturesque view. And those in Lodwar town will be seeing the sunset this way. On day 2 of our adventure, we concentrate on the attractions around Lodwar town. And did you know that Lodwar is home to Kenya's version of the famous Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil? The sculpture bears the same name as the one in Rio. Since it is located on a hill, it is visible from anywhere within the town. The top of the hill provides a vantage point for a bird's eye view of the town. It is adjacent to the Lodwar airstrip, a perfect location to see planes landing. And taking off. Turkana's attractions span ages and distance.
This is the fact that all the genetics of human races can be traced to the Turkana living here. The credo of mankind. So tourism was going to be a major driver of the economy of Turkana. And particularly if Kenya wants to move to the next level of tourism, if Kenya wants to move away from the maximum levels now they're reaching of international tourism of 2 million, if Kenya wants to move away from its traditional focus on the coast and Masai Mara as the only continued attraction every year for tourism, then the opportunity is in northern Kenya, and no doubt the opportunity is going to be around the areas of Lake Turkana, and it is going to be about the fossil discovery, about human civilization and the Turkana culture, plus all the other traditional cultural communities that live in the neighborhood of Turkana.
Tunatengeneza mkeka, fikapu, kifagio, ambapo hiyo kifagio mtu wa huko akitengeneza anatuletea, sisi tunanunua. Sasa yenye sisi tunatengeneza hapa, hii vitu ndogo ndogo hii ndio sisi tunatengeneza. Kifagio nini? Hii basket kubwa kubwa hii nini ya mat, alafu hii nini? Chopping basket, mat. Hii nini tray ya maragwe na mahindi. Hizo ndio sisi huo naye tunashona hapa. Fikapu ndogo ndogo hii ya sadaka ndio sisi pia naye tunatengeneza hapa.
What should be done to deal with negative perceptions and boost tourism in this county?
What can be corrected is, first of all, the attitude.
That's up next, right after the break. Welcome back. In part one of this show, we brought you untold beautiful attractions of Turkana County. But there are many who would still be asking, is it really a place I would want to be? Let's now look into what should be done to make Turkana an everyday tourist destination.
Turkana is known as the cradle of mankind. So there are a lot of people, whether in Europe, Asia, or America, who would want to find the origin of man, and they know that that lies somewhere here in Turkana. Since the discovery of Turkana Boy, the oldest person, we have many people who would want to come to Turkana just to see the cradle of mankind. So by itself, it's a tourist attraction, and as government, we want to ensure that we have the infrastructure in place. That is why we have pushed the construction of the road. Right from the international airport in Eldoret to Kitale to Kapenguria to Lodwar. And the road is almost done. We just have about 50 kilometers. That once that is done, we'll be able to have more tourists coming.
Generally, good infrastructure and reliable services are important incentives to visitors. But Turkana has been grappling with poor health facilities, food scarcity, insecurity, among other challenges that hamper tourism in the county.
And one of the things that I undertook myself 6 years when I got into office to do is to change the narrative of Turkana. And one of the ways that we are changing that narrative is the Toponglorie Cultural Festival, which is essentially a narrative change, an attitudinal change, both internal and external. Lodwar is peaceful, much part of Turkana is peaceful, the lake is peaceful. It's only very few areas that are pastoral resource rich, where conflicts occur because pastoralists with their livestock move there. And of course, clash of a conflict is inevitable.
And if the vision of the North Rift Economic Bloc, or NOREB, becomes a reality, Turkana County is one of the counties in the 8-member bloc that are expected to benefit big time.
NOREB is also coming in a big way to support the North Rift region counties, especially Turkana, in attracting investments and investors to develop that industry in terms of hotel industry and other packages that will benefit the region. We are also advocating to the tourism stakeholders from the national government and even the private sector to focus on the North Rift region as a tourism destination. We want to interest stakeholders to look at the potential within the region too. Sports tourism is a very huge package in the region. And actually, if you are in the North Rift region, you cannot go more than 30 minutes before either shaking a hand with a champion or just crisscrossing a champion.
I think Turkana is a very strategic place, but of course it has its challenges also in terms of security with the situation in the southern Sudan. There have been challenges also from the Ethiopian side, but the cross-border programs that we are putting in place actually will be able to reduce these conflicts, so that instead of seeing more cross-border conflicts, we would like to see more cross-border trade.
Remember, as we had indicated in part 1 of this show, along the beautiful sandy beaches of Lake Turkana, accommodation facilities are scanty. In Lodwar town, many modern hotels are coming up, but not enough yet.
I came during the cultural festival in 2014 and could not get a very good place to stay. And that's what got me thinking that every year the county has a cultural festival, but they do not have enough accommodation. So being a business person, that's how I came up with the idea to come up with a quality and something different that has not or was not in the county. Lodwar or Turkana County has been known to have a lot of business travelers because we have a lot of NGOs. We have more than 30 NGOs working with the county. So all this is a very ready market. Where are the conferences? Where do they take their conferences? Where are they accommodated?
It is against that background that hoteliers in Lodwar have decided to work together to market Turkana's beauty.
We will not be narrated in Lodwar, but we are planning, we are actually talking to the Ministry of Tourism. We've actually been talking to them, and we hope this year, maybe before the end of the year, we should get the classification of the hotels. In Turkana, we have what we call Turkana Hotels and Restaurant Association, and we meet from time to time to update ourselves on what is happening, and we work together. We have a lot of team building within ourselves.
If you look at the new marketing strategy for Kenya Tourism Board, they are looking into other areas where tourists can tap into. From my experience, if we normally try to market Turkana to maybe domestic market and the international market, the first thing a potential tourist will tell you is Turkana safe. So that is the first thing we need to dispel as marketers of this destination, because one thing I will tell you for free, Turkana County and all the attractions in this circuit are very, very safe. Turkana right now is very accessible. We have 5 airlines that fly Nairobi-Lodwar route 7 days, twice in a day, notably Safari Link, Silverstone, Skyward and Fly 540.
Indeed, there are 2 main ways of traveling to Lodwar, by road, via Kitale or by air. And when it comes to commercial flights, there are direct flights between Nairobi and Lodwar, but there are others that make stopovers in Eldoret. A direct flight to Lodwar takes about 1 hour at a cost of between 15,000 and 20,000 Kenya shillings return ticket per person. Also crucial is transport on the ground. Charles Nyanga, the director of Nancha Cruise, is one of the pioneers of transport service provision in Turkana.
We partner with NGOs which are in Turkana County and even many others from Nairobi who get services from us from here. There are high seasons, there are low seasons, depending with the work. We get.
What would you want done to make tourism or hospitality or your work better in Turkana County? What should be done either by national government, county government, stakeholders, donors?
I will say what will be done in Turkana County to make our business, and not only the business, but to ensure that the economy of Kenya is growing and to ensure the tourists are able to reach the places they want to visit is to ensure we have better roads.
In tourism, both the national and county governments have to work together. The Turkana County Executive Committee member for Tourism, Culture and Natural Resources, Charles Ewoi Lokioto, explains.
We have brought two operators in this county to look at our county so that we have an intention of having motor races along our sand dunes. We have brought them up to Kalokol to look the sand dunes from Kerio up to Kalokol. The other one is to gusset. We are in the process of gusseting our hills to ensure that we are able, through the natural resource, we are able to gusset the hills we have.
Turkana, in conclusion, is a sleeping giant when it comes to tourism.
As many people are still trying to convert to modernism, Turkana culture is still as much intact as before. We have the women dressed in different attires, we have the men, we have the food, we have the sports, we have the livestock. And this is one aspect where people would really come and get to interact with the Turkana, to really come and really get to see the culture in its maiden state, which has not really changed much. Even within Lodo, we still have villages which are still as old as before.
If Kenya wants to leapfrog from 2 million tourists to 10 million and above, let it begin focusing on the untapped areas of northern Kenya, and particularly Turkana and around the civilization in Lake Turkana.
Today, Turkana is like that cornerstone. The stone that the builders cast away, becoming the cornerstone of transformation, not just of our county, but of our country.
And that's Turkana's beauty. Remember, you can watch this again on our YouTube channel. My production team from Champs Media, both in the field and at the office, thank you so much for making this adventure possible. And I wouldn't forget to thank our broadcasting partner, KTN News Channel. To our viewers, thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time.